Today we are going to use to see how to measure now different scale parameters here on this multimeter. Number one, we have voltage. What is voltage? Voltage is the driving influence that causes or pushes current to flow in the circuit. So we are going to measure that driving influence which pushes current to flow. So for you to be able to measure the voltage, you need to understand how is voltage measured. How do you connect a multimeter to measure a voltage? We have a component known as voltmeter itself, which measure voltage. You can also find it just a small copy of a voltmeter itself. Now, for us to be able to measure voltage, this is what we are going to do. You need to connect the multimeter in parallel. Parallel. What do I mean by parallel? We have this multimeter here, has two probes. So what I mean by parallel is that the positive, it will take the positive terminal of the voltage, and the negative will take the negative terminal of the voltage. So for you to be able to measure the voltage using a multimeter, select the voltage scale on the multimeter. Now, first of all, you need to know which voltage is that. For us, in case we are going to measure the voltage from this power supply. So this is normally a DC voltage. You can see it is indicated here, 12 voltage DC. So you're going to measure the voltage output from this power supply. So having known that this voltage is a DC, then we come to the multimeter. To the multimeter, let's check the DC voltage. So you can see here, this is the DC voltage dotted here, and this is the AC voltage where the sign of alternating is shown. So we'll have to select the DC voltage. According to this, the manufacturer of this power supply, he has said that this power supply should provide us 12 voltage at the output. Then you come here, which scale is above 12? You cannot put here, you'll get wrong readings, two wrong readings. So you have to put from 20. So if you put at 20, you'll get accurate reading, 200 and 600, you'll get good readings because these scales are above 12 volt. So then you come back here, check here. The common is always, the black one is always at common. Then the voltmeter is always here. You can see here the voltmeter V. So you connect it here. So you can measure the voltage across the circuit, and you can also measure a voltage across the load. Okay. Now that what kind of current this power supply provide? This power supply provide a DC current. So when measuring a DC current, you'll have to consider the polarity. Polarity matters in a DC current. Why? Because DC current does not change directions. It doesn't. So if it is positive, positive. It's negative, negative. Observe the polarity always when measuring a DC voltage. Then in case of AC, there is no polarity. You can put anyhow, you will still measure. You will get the voltage. It doesn't matter. But in a DC, you have to be very, very keen that you select the DC scale and you select the highest scale compared to the voltage measured, and you'll have to connect the probes at the right terminals. And when you go measuring voltage, don't short the terminals. Once I select here 12 volt, don't short the terminals. Okay, why? Because it will damage the voltage scale and you'll start getting poor and wrong readings. So let's see how we are going to connect it in parallel. So this meter has, this power supply has two terminals at the output. One is positive and one is negative. So since we are measuring a DC voltage, we'll have to connect red to positive and negative to black so that we can get accurate reading. So let's do that. So guys, you can see how I've connected positive to red, negative to black. Then I have plugged it to the supply. So it's convert now this one. Then you can see 12 voltage DC. So this is how it's going to measure. So you connect, when measuring a voltage, make sure you connect it in parallel, whereby the red probe is connected to the positive and the black probe is connected to the negative. Understand that? In case of a DC, then for AC, it doesn't matter. You can put anyhow and you still measure. But you will make sure that it is on the DC scale for DC, and for AC scale, when it comes to AC, here, you select the AC scale. So that is the brief about voltmeter, DC one. Number 2 is measuring current. What is current? Current is the flow of electron. So we need to measure the flow of electron in the circuit. How can someone measure current? There is an instrument known as ammeter. So an ammeter is inserted in this multimeter. So this is always connected in series in the circuit. Okay. What do I mean by that? So that means you will have to break the circuit for you to connect this ammeter. We're going to measure the current flowing through this bulb here, this 12-volt bulb. So this is what we are going to connect. The positive terminal will be connected here. Then this one will be to the negative terminal. What do I mean by series? This means that the current has to flow through the ammeter. Then it goes down to it will go to the lamp. Then it comes back to the negative terminals for the return. So this should be connected in series, whereby you will have to break the circuit and insert this inside, which is not the case for a voltmeter. A voltmeter is connected in parallel. So let's do a simple circuit. This is the simple circuit we're going to use. This is the bulb we are going to use. Then let us take the meter. Then what we need to do, first of all, we measured voltage. Let's disconnect so that we don't connect and burn our meter. What we need to do is to select the ammeter. Which type of current we are measuring? We are measuring a DC current. Let's come here. Since we don't know the current level, let's take the highest reading, 200. Then, once you have selected that, do not touch the terminals. Like I've said, in the case of voltmeter, it's also applied in this case of an ammeter. So let's now connect the circuit and see. Let us investigate the circuit like you have discussed. So the power is coming here. This one is the power which has come at this point here. We are at red. Then the positive terminal of the ammeter is connected to the power which is coming. So the power is here. So you have connected the positive here. Then it goes to the ammeter. Like here, it goes to the ammeter. So this is the red wire here. You see it enters the ammeter. After that, it left. So it just left here. So it just left on the negative side. You can see it has left the negative side. Then it connected the positive terminal of the bulb. So you come here, you will see this bulb is here. So this is the positive terminal of this bulb at this point here. Then it gets out the negative. So you can see the negative on this side. So this circuit is connected in series. So let's see the reading. So you can see we are able to measure 191.8 milliamps. Okay. So that is the current when we measure this current in series. So for you to measure the current in series, you'll have to break the circuit. Then you measure the current. Now let's go to the third scale. The third scale is we are going to measure the